Hi everyone, my name is Micah McLean and I'm the creator of the Micah McLean Talks YouTube channel. Before I go on, please remember to like, share, subscribe and comment on all of the content on this channel. Maxwell Reid, thank you so much for taking the time out to come onto my platform.
My pleasure.
So you're known for your roles as Hannah Griffin in Frank's Place and also uh, Vivian in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So the first question I'd like to ask you is please tell us about your early life growing up and signing with the Aline Ford modeling agency.
Well, I didn't grow up and sign with her. I grew up and I went away to college, and somebody introduced me to her, and she asked me to sign with her. And it was while I was in college away in Chicago. I grew up in New York City, and it was my junior high school English teacher who recommended me to do a 17 magazine spread that was about real girls, because I had gotten a national scholarship to attend Northwestern University. And they selected me, and I did a full one-page article picture in 17 magazine in 1967. And Eileen Ford saw the picture and was introduced to me through that picture. And then I signed with her.
Thank you so much for the answer. It's really cool. And following that, in 1969, you were the first Black woman to feature in Glamour magazine. How did it feel to make this iconic achievement around 1 year after the civil rights movement ended?
One had nothing to do with the other. I had been in the civil rights movement since 1963 when I went on the March on Washington. But being the first one on the cover of Glamour magazine was a surprise to me. It wasn't something that they told me was going to happen. It was just another photo shoot that they called me to New York to do a photo shoot. It took maybe 15 minutes, and I didn't have on much makeup. And my mentor, who worked with me in New York, between the agency and myself, said, "Oh, just sit on that window." And the guy came in, and I don't think he took a whole roll of film. And then she said, "Okay, go back to school." And that fall, I walked down the street and saw my face on the cover of the magazine. So it was as much of a surprise to me as it was to anybody else. It really didn't have anything to do with striving to be the first of anything. It was not the first time I was the first of. It's always the pioneers that get stabbed in the back, but I was lucky to be in the right place at the time when I happened to be the first one who did something. But that's all in hindsight. It's not something you plan to do.
Thank you so much for that. And can I ask you, why did you make the transition from modeling to acting?
Because it paid more. It just happened as well. I was not seeking either one, either the modeling career or the acting career. But I was in the process of being in the modeling career. And Robert Conrad, who a lot of the older people would know, but you may not know, came to Chicago to do a series called The Duke. And he was casting, and he cast through the modeling agencies. And I got a role and became one of his mentees as well. And I not only secured a role in that series as a regular, but when I moved out to California a couple of years later, he put me in the next show that he was doing, and I was able to get an agent very easily in Los Angeles because I already had work.
Thank you. And you've actually starred in a sitcom called Frank's Place, and it's considered by Rolling Stones magazine to be one of the best sitcoms of all time.
Yes.
So
I agree.
please tell us what it was like working with your real life husband on set.
It was not the first time that I had worked with my real life husband on set. We had worked together when we first met on WKRP when he was on that show, and I did a couple of guest spots on that show. And then we were working together again on Simon and Simon, which he was starring in, and I was cast as his girlfriend on that show. And then after Simon and Simon, he created Frank's Place, he and Hugh Wilson, who created WKRP in Cincinnati. And Hugh said, we're going to write a place for Daphne. And he did. So I was working with my husband again. And we did it for many years after that. We did Snoops together. And then we built a studio in Virginia together.
Thank you. And in 1993, you replaced Janet Huben in the iconic role of Aunt Vivian on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I did not replace her. I got a job.
You got a job. Sorry.
You cannot replace somebody.
So I wanted to ask, how did you handle the pressure of this iconic role?
Oh, I had been on television for many years before that iconic role, and it wasn't iconic back then. It was just a sitcom that was popular, but we had no idea that it would meld into the iconic status that it has become. Back then, there was no Facebook, no Twitter, no ways of all the social media to blow things up. So all you had was the ratings from television. Mm-hmm. And they were getting good ratings, which means they had good audiences. But it wasn't until it went into rerun that it started becoming iconic. And it's because of Will. And there was no pressure for me. I guess the only pressure I had was that was the first time that I worked in front of a live audience on a TV show. Most of the shows that I had done were filmed. So that was a little nerve-wracking to begin with, but I got used to it in about 5 minutes. So,
thank you. And you had a very special relationship with James Avery on the set. Please just share with us some of your best memories from working with James.
Probably my favorite memory was the audition that I had for Fresh Prince. And I got to audition with him and I fell in love with him. He was just such a wonderful, wonderful partner. And he accepted me as Aunt Vivian as readily as the rest of the cast did. And we just had a ball together. He liked to dance. So, of course, we danced in the halls all the time. He loved to read. He was a history buff. He was an art aficionado. He was a collector. He was a jazz lover, all things that were of loves to me as well. We used to travel together, he and his wife and my husband and I, and we just were good buddies. He was just such a wonderful human being. And I was happy that I got to spend as much time with him on set as possible. He was a joy.
Thank you so much for that. And on your husband, you and your husband, Tim Reid, have been married for over 40 years now.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to newlyweds that want to also have a long-lasting marriage?
Number one, respect each other. Understand the difference between winning and making your point.
Mm-hmm.
And bring something to the table. Don't expect the other person to make you happy. You bring happiness and they bring happiness and there will be happiness. Nobody can make you happy. So start with self-love and then give respect to a partner that you want to share your life with.
Thank you again for that really nice answer. And I'd also
Does that apply to you at all?
Oh, no, right now I'm single, but
okay. So you're getting notes. You're taking notes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally taking notes.
Okay.
Well, honey, you and Carlton will look out for each other, won't you?
Oh, come on, absolutely, Viv. We got each other back.
Great. You two just be careful. There are a lot of sick, demented perverts out there.
Greetings, all.
Hello, Jazz.
I brought a gift for baby Dickie.
Nick.
Whatever. I know it's 5 months late, but I wanted to find just the right thing.
This is very sweet of you, Jazz. Thank you.
You know, Miss Banks, since you had that baby, there's something different about you.
It's a baby pillow. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, yeah. Jazz, this thing says Wendy Beth on it.
So, when you buy a wallet, doesn't it have someone else's picture in it first?
Jazz, you stole this pillow.
It's the thought that counts.
I'd also like to ask, you've achieved so much within the world of acting, and there's lots of young Black actors that would also like to act in a sitcom. So what advice would you give to them?
I would tell them that they should find something that they love to do, that they can earn a living at while they are waiting to be chosen as an actor. You don't have control over where you work next unless you are creating the project and selling it yourself. So as an actor, hone your craft, learn everything that you can in front of the camera, behind the camera, backstage, in front of the stage, because everybody has a role to play in making you look good. So you got to know what their jobs are and make sure that you're working with people who know their jobs and know what they're supposed to be doing. And then you bring all of what you have to that role.
Thank you again for that brilliant answer. And I've also known that you're such a multi-talented individual. You're not just an actress, but you're a designer and you're a photographer. So what?
Yes.
Thank
you. See, that's my DMR Fresh Prince is my photography. And Daphne Styles is my my moniker for things that I make.
I've actually seen your fashion, it's absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's a joy. I only do it as custom work. So I hope folks are not running in the store looking for Daphne Styles. You have to call me.
Thank you. And what advice would you give to young people that would like to reinvent themselves?
Jump off the cliff. That's all you can do. And learn everything you can about what it is you want to do. I didn't know I was going to be a photographic artist. I didn't know what that meant until I declared that I wanted to be one, and then went about the journey of finding out what that meant. And being bold enough to ask people to hang my pictures in their galleries, and being strong enough to listen to the comments and the criticisms and not take them personally and improve my work. And the joy of sharing what I see with my eyes with other people and inspire them to look differently at their life and to look differently at the things around them, the small details that make their journey very rich.
Thank you. And recently there was a Hobo Max special about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. And what did you like most about reuniting with the cast?
Just being in the same place at the same time with everybody. We've seen each other in groups, but that was the first time we've all gotten together at the same time. And the occasion was marvelous. Everything that Will had set up was just a treat. It was absolutely a glorious occasion. And we had a ball reminiscing about life 25 years ago.
Thank you. And you've had such an extravagant career. So what are the 2 greatest lessons you've learned over the course of your career?
Well, I learned not to take the successes, not let them go to your head, and not let these failures go to your heart, and to always get up and keep going.
Mhm. Thank you. And the last question I'd like to ask you is, please tell us about some of the projects you're going to be working on this year, and particularly how people can support anything that you're doing.
I've got lots of projects in the works. We have another sequel to a Christmas movie that I've done twice called The Business of Christmas 1 and 2. And hopefully we're going to do number 3 this spring. The new Bel Air is a wonderful, wonderful program, and there are surprises coming up with that show. I've got BET movies, one called Trophy Wife that is coming on soon, which I had a ball shooting because I get to play a bad guy, which I love to do. It's been a wonderful, wonderful ride.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this interview. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I just felt so relaxed interviewing you. So just thank you for taking the time out.
Good. Thank you very much for asking me. And bless you, and good luck with your podcast.
Our lives may have been turned upside down this year, but we'd like to take a minute, so just sit right there to tell you about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's 30th anniversary reunion special. And with me now is Aunt Viv herself, Daphne Maxwell Reid. Daphne, it is so good to see you. Let's start with the reunion special. So it was filmed on the anniversary of the day the show premiered 30 years ago, which I can't believe. Does it seem like that long for you?
No, and it's only 27 for me, but no, it doesn't seem that long. That time went very, very quickly, much like this year has been gone.
Yes, I know. Well, from the looks of the pictures, it seems like you're all back in the mansion. What was it like just when you all got back together in the same room again?
It was delightful, and it was so well set up. They didn't let us see each other before we got to the studio. They made us stay in different hotels, and they wanted it to be a very impromptu, honest reunion, and it was.
Will shared a picture of him with Janet Hubert, who also played Aunt Viv, and it seemed like over the years there may have been some bad blood, but maybe in this picture, it seems like, is there a sense of closure? Does time heal all wounds?
They have supposedly buried the hatchet, whatever hatchet was. Yeah. I was privileged to not know anything about that.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about why she was not there, and it didn't bother me. I had a job.
Yeah, of course. The show ran for 6 seasons. It was groundbreaking in so many ways. Did you all realize at the time the impact that the show was having?
We knew at the time that it was popular.
Yeah.
And we knew that we were doing some very honest stories, and stories that were kind of what I would say would be universal. Having each character in the family have a different personality and a different point of view, you got to amalgamize a lot of different points of view into one situation and how it was solved. And I thought, that's pretty unique. And it was so well written that I thought it was going to be a popular show for a while, but 30 years, we're on our 3rd generation.
I know. And so many more people are watching it now because of streaming services, because of, the ability to see things that aren't even on our TVs anymore.
And because of Will. He has just bloomed as an actor, as a businessman, as a personality, as a celebrity. He's just an amazing young man. And it's been a delight to watch him grow into these shoes.